One of the advanced tricks that you may want to try in your Sketchnotes is to use the layer feature that is available in some apps. This is the Sketchbook Express app, and in the free version it does include the ability to add 3 layers. If you tap up here in the corner, this is where the layers are. I'm going to begin in this first layer by going into the paint bucket tool, and I'm just going to pick a light yellow color and flood my background with that yellow color. Now, the problem with adding colored backgrounds, I'm going to go now to a pen tool and just get a black line. Let's say you write something on the background and then later on you decide you want to erase it or change it. What you end up doing is erasing both the writing and the background, which obviously is a problem. And you can use the undo, but sometimes you're so far along into your sketchnote you don't want to undo all of the work that you've done. So a trick that you can use, let me go back here and fill this again with my yellow color, is after you fill the background, you're going to put that in on the first layer. And now we're going to add a second layer by hitting this plus right here. That will open up another layer. Make sure that that's the layer that you're working on by tapping on it. And now I'm going to go back and use my pen in my black, and I'm going to write something. And if I want to erase it now, it will only erase the part that's on that layer and will not erase the background. There's another cool thing that's available in Sketchbook X, and it's kind of hidden, so a lot of people don't know it. If I tap on these 3 little dots right here and hit transform, what it's going to allow me to do now is take my fingers and I can pinch and move that layer around. So if my writing's too big or I decide I want to move it someplace else. So it gives you that ability to be able to move things. And then when you're done, you hit the done button here and it will put it in place. Now I'm going to show you another little trick. I'm going to go back in here, back to my pen again, and I'm going to make a little container that I'm going to put that word in. I'm going to go to my paint bucket, pick a slightly different color, and I'm just going to fill in that container with color. And now sometimes people like to add shadows to their sketchnotes, but what ends up happening, so I'm going to go here to my airbrush. I'm going to pick kind of a light, really light gray color, and make sure that you have the opacity turned down almost to nothing so that it's very, very transparent. Now if I go here and try and add this shadow over top, what you can see ends up happening is you also kind of get it all over the edge of your container, of your box. So I'm going to show you a trick that allows you to put a really neat shadow underneath your container, again using layers. So I'm going to add one more layer. Now I want this layer to be kind of sandwiched in between the background and my box. So I'm going to hit these 3 little lines here and slide that layer down. So now it's in between. And now what happens when I go to add the shadow in, it will be underneath that container and it won't overlap over the top of it. Now you may say, oh, okay, I like using this free version, but it only has 3 layers and I may want to use more than 3 layers. What you can do once you are done is something called merging. I'm going to tap on this top layer, and then if I go down here to the bottom corner, there's a little arrow, and I'm going to hit that little arrow, and it's going to ask, do I want to merge with the layer below? And I hit merge, and now those two elements are combined together. I cannot separate them again unless I hit my undo. And I can do that a second time if I know that this now is the place where I want this. I can merge it again, and now that is merged into the background. If I erase it, it's going to erase all three parts of it. But that allows you then, if you need to create a new layer, you can do that as well. So that's a quick look at some of the ways that you can incorporate layers into your sketch notes.